Okay, here we go. So I'm in the garage. Can you guess what it is? Can you guess what it is? Yeah, it's a couple of motorbike keys. There are other ones. My name's John, and this is the very first part of Sinner, Please Make Me a Winner. I'm in the garage and I've got a couple of motorbikes and something over there which is which is rustling. It's not called rustle, although maybe we'll call it rustle until it's revealed. Would you like to see what it is? Okay, seeing you've asked so nicely, see if we can adjust this. I'll do a quick little turn around, wrong direction, and a bit more. There it is. Can you guess what it is? Well, that's Russell, and my name's John, and I'm going to do my very best to look at the camera. Now you can't really tell where I'm looking except when I look like this, but I am looking pretty much at the lens, which is somewhere over here. I've got no idea how you turn this thing on or off, but I have got a couple of keys and I've got a couple of motorbikes, and I want to talk through motorbike stuff with a big splash of something which is hiding on my shelf. What is hiding on my shelf? Let's have a little look. Is there anything on the shelf over here behind me? Can you see anything? Can you see anything? It's a bit of a clue there. Is there anything on the shelf over here? You may be able to see. You've got to have pretty good eyesight to spy this, but there is something hiding over there. And there are a couple of other bikes. We've got here, what have we got? We've got, can you see what that one is? That's a great big old VTX1800. And in the background there, can you see, let's see if I can turn this around. I can probably do this button. Can I do this button? I don't know what button I can do, probably not. Let's just go from this end into the darkened end. Here we go. Can you see what one is? Wrong direction. We've got a nice Fantic Caballero 500 Rally, and we've got a Honda VTX 1800. My second and third motorbike, the Fantic, was my second motorbike. I had a Fantic 125 Caballero as my first one about a year ago. Although prior to this, many years before, I had a couple of Coils. Some pictures will appear of Coils if you don't know what I'm talking about, of those. And I've been doing some maintenance on the VTX, which is 17 years old, and it is frankly fantastic. A great big V-twin. Look at that V-twin engine there. Isn't that a beauty? Put this down here. Oh, look at that. That's what I'm talking about. 900 cc's or thereabouts, just under, and a beautiful V-twin, spark plugs on either side, so 4 spark plugs. And you'll notice underneath here I've been changing the oil, so I got a couple of sump plugs out there, because there's 2 sump plugs on this one. Now I've been fiddling around with cars for years, and Russell over there, it's not really Russell, will testify by, especially all these parts on the shelf, that there's always some tinkering going on in the various motors. Lexus LS 400 was a good one, Datsun 240Z back in the day, Mark 1 GLI VW Scirocco, that was nice, Morris Minor, first car, Opel Manta Mark 1 1.9 SR, 1976 Honda Civic 1200, brilliant car, love that one there. We've got an awful lot of, we've got a Toyota IQ, something underneath there as well, and a Honda and a Toyota RAV. We've got a few Hondas, love Hondas, and a decent number of Toyotas. We like Toyotas. Got a Land Cruiser, are all old, none of them are new, and we like mechanical things, but I also like talking about the meaning of life. That's the Sinner, and you'll never guess what's written on the back there. You have to read the back front, but I'm pretty sure you can do that. So maintenance wise, I've got the manual over there. Oops, the manual over here. Go over to buy second hand. Got some fluids, and we've just done some rearranging. When I say we've done some rearranging, I've done some rearranging in the garage to try and tidy it all up so I can get got Russell out and got the bikes in here for insurance purposes, but also so that I can do some maintenance on them. Just changed some spark plugs yesterday on the Toyota IQ. I'm just having an amazing conversation with someone about the meaning of life, and that is what it's all about. But I can't believe the price of spark plugs. Back in the day, when you get a spark plug with a nice little copper and carbonish core, and now these iridium ones, how much do you reckon for that? How much do you reckon for that? This is called a thorough rip-off. Deep breath, 14 quid plus VAT. Outrageous. So the VAT's bad enough, 20% on top of that. £14 a piece. No adjustment necessary, nothing to do on them, they're meant to last forever. And the trouble with people don't do any maintenance, and my job is to do maintenance on life, the meaning of life. That's what it's all about. What is the meaning of life? It's not about motorbikes, although I love motorbikes, and I've got this giant motorbike here. Let's have another little look at it, and we'll get some better views over the coming days. Here it is, it's coming to focus. Here it is, what a beauty. It's great, but I do love my little Fantic as well. Never thought I'd call a 500 a little bike, but that is absolutely ace. Anyway, where am I? Changing the oil. And what else have I done on it recently? Changed the rear diff oil as well. So there is nothing to fear in changing. Just adjusting here. When changing the rear diff oil, easy peasy. Let it out, put it in. Let it out, put it in. 17 mil. Don't over tighten them. Do what it says in the book with tightening them up. Make sure the little crush washers underneath are good. If it can be slightly warmed up, you've used it a little bit beforehand, a very slight angle on it seems to help. Obviously gets a bit more out. Get the fluids all ready. A little container for putting it in there. Don't panic. Make sure you just cut the ignition off, and you've got it stabilized on a stand. Don't undo this one. It's the central bolt holding everything together. Just this one here lets it all out, this one here lets it all in. And you should change it. Change it more often than it says. Keep the oil clean, because clean oil means a happy bit of mechanical stuff going on behind it. So what I did was put a little container there, undid this one here, undid this one here. Nice and careful, don't drop anything, keep it all together. A little rag just to one side, take that off, put it down there, take that off, put it down there. Oil runs out there. Have your oil ready to put in there, the right stuff, SAE 80, and then squidge a little bit in there whilst it's open, and let that wash through in the different directions that it wants to come out some of the dirty stuff that's in there. Get rid of the dirty stuff. The old has to go and the new has to come. That's what the Bible says. Get rid of it, and then when you're confident that it's all come out, it's nice and clean inside, you know, give it a like that, waste a bit of new oil and cleaning it all out, then do this up with the crush washer in there. I think it's just £16 or maybe £14 per foot, which isn't that tight. It's just right. Doesn't need to be mega tight. Don't over tighten anything. Make sure it's nice and clean on the seat. Do it up, and then squeeze the oil in here until it just runs over the edge. Do it a few times so you're confident that it is over, you know, it's filled up. It's about it's a relatively small amount of oil that goes into there. It goes in there and it splashes all around, does all its stuff, and then once you're confident that it's up to level, which is so it just runs over the lip, once it's just there, tighten it up. Tighten it up, not too much. Tighten it up by fingers so it goes in there easy. Don't over tighten them. Don't use an impact wrench. Just do it by fingers. Do it up tight with your fingers, and then put the torque wrench on it. Get to £14 or £16, whatever it says in the book. Tighten it up. Job done. You could charge a fortune. The garages need to charge a lot of money. They've got lots of overheads. You can do it for a few pounds. Likewise with the oil. You can make a right mess. Found eventually a nice little tray which holds the probably 3.5, maybe 4 litres possibly of oil that came out from there. And do you know what? Came out a treat. Undoing the oil filter was a palaver, because the previous person had done it up so tight. It was ridiculous. It doesn't need to be that tight. There's your new oil filter. I've got a couple of them. Here they are. I've got a genuine Honda one here, really nice, looks like it's been on the shelf for a while, a bit of sellotape around it, and a K&M one here. I like K&M, but I like the genuine Honda stuff. You know, a few quid, get one of these, change the oil regularly. You can't over change the oil on a car. It might say in the maintenance you don't need to do it that often, every 3,000, you know, on the Fantic, every 5,000 miles, every 10,000 miles. This oil lasts for life. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Change it regularly. Clean oil is exactly what your engine needs and what it wants. Feed it on what is good for it. And do you know what? If you want to know the truth, you need to let the truth abide in you, live in you. And there aren't loads of different kinds of truth. There's one truth. And that one truth is revealed to us in the Lord Jesus Christ, in creation, through the Bible. And just open your eyes and let that truth sink deep in, and it'll transform your life. A little bit like, I'm hoping this motorbike is going to be in fine fettle. When you're changing the oil, take out the... Where are we going to go? Take out the dipstick. It lets the oil flow more freely. Having warmed the engine up, let it all the openings that you can do. There's one here, and notice I've got on a slight little platform. You can see that just down there. Make sure we can actually see it. So it's just slightly more level. Move it around a little so that all the oil comes out, and we've got one drain plug at the back of the engine and one drain plug, you'll never guess where the other one is, at the front of the engine. Undo those here. You'd be amazed how much oil comes out. Jiggle the motorbike around a little until as much as possible has come out. Then, you know what I do? Yep, you're right. No one else seems to do this. I think when he does this, I put a little bit of fresh oil in on the top, and I'm going to do it probably a little bit more in a minute. Just a little bit more fresh oil into the filler with everything open, so that it drains out the last little dregs. If there are any dregs at the bottom, you don't want any of that in the engine. You can also look at the drain plugs, and often they have a magnetic end, and if there are little bits of metal on there, you can let your heart sink a little bit. Just go, oh, it's not meant to be like that. I bought this motorbike a while ago, and I took the drain plugs out yesterday, and I looked at the top of the magnetic drain plugs, and I went, actually this is brilliant, clean as a whistle. The oil's pretty clean, which is great, but I would want to change my oil once a year for sure. However many miles you do, just change it, get it clean. Clean oil is great. Anyway, there you go. The next little clip will be about something else at some other point. I'm probably going to do the antifreeze maybe in a few days time, but it's baking hot here, and I wonder what is under the cover. What's underneath there? So there you go. Now, I haven't got any particular little saying other than how on earth do you turn this thing off, so I'm going to end with how on earth do you turn this thing off. And don't forget, obviously, to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button. Is it this button here? See you soon.